All right, what is up, YouTube? Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Slide Job Podcast. Now, I know this is 20 minutes late, but it appears Chinry20 will not be joining us tonight. If he does, it will be later. I will be keeping tabs to see if he texts me or anything like that. So we'll see if he joins in later. But without further ado, today we're going to be talking about what happened in the offseason and along with some stuff with ESPN dropping Motorsports. So let's get right into it. Right off the bat, we're going to talk about the rookie race. As the rookie race consists of Daniel Hemric driving the A car and Chinry is here. Why wouldn't Chinry finally get here? All right. It took him forever. I said 8:50 and I'm starting, and then he texted me right at 8:50, so it's kind of like not much I can do there. So let me get Chinry in here, and we'll go ahead, and then we will get started. Let me find. I completely forgot how to add somebody. That's apps. Oh, here you go. Invite people. That would probably help. Copy. See if he gets in here. All right. Let's see if he gets in here, and we'll get going. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great and wonderful day. The reason that he was late was actually because of the IU Michigan State game. Yeah, we're live right now, Caleb, just so you know, because I can't really stop the broadcast.
Yeah.
So I did not get into anything. I started at 8:50, and you texted me at 8:50. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to talk about the whatever it's called, the Rookie of the Year race. I'm going to pause this right here. And I'm going to just keep the chat up. No, I didn't want to hide chat. There we go. All right, so I can see the chat. Anyway, so Rookie of the Year race, it consists of the 8 car in Daniel Hemric, the 47 car in Ryan Preece, the 36 car in Matt Tifft, and the 97 of Tanner Berryhill. And I think we both can agree, I think we all can agree, Daniel Hemric and Ryan Preece are the only ones that legitimately have a chance to win the Rookie of the Year. And it's a fairly easy, thinned pack, especially compared to recent years where we had people like last year. I guess last year wasn't really that great of one, but
yeah,
the year or two prior to that, there was a pretty stacked rookie class.
It's Larson, Dylan, and
excuse me. But I think at the end of the day, Daniel Hemric will get it. But don't be surprised if Ryan Preece does. Like, I don't think either of them will be really competing for a top 10 or at all. But should be interesting to see who wins. Like I said, my pick will be Daniel Hemric. Go ahead, Chinry.
I think it'll probably. It's obviously going to be Hemric or Preece. I really don't know who to pick between the two because honestly, if Preece wins it, I wouldn't be surprised. If Hemric wins, I wouldn't be surprised. But you're not going to see either of the two going for winning unless it's on stretch or at a restricted plate.
All right.
So I mean, it's probably going to be. It's not going to be exciting at all of a battle.
And then the other two, Trevor or Tanner Barry, I already forgot his name, and Matt Tifft. I guess if front row, like we always think that front row is going to actually do something every year, and they always fail us. So I don't think we'll really have to worry about Matt Tifft and Tanner Berryhill. I don't even know where to begin with them. What'd you say?
Like Hemric and Preece, I guess they like wreck every week. Matt Tifft could sneak in there, but that'd be at the max. I don't even think that.
Yeah, I don't think we could really. But yeah, moving on from the Rookie of the Year, we are talking about drivers moving to new teams. And we're going to start with Daniel Suarez going from the 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota to the 41 Stewart-Haas Racing Ford. And this is a move that I think is kind of underrated. I think a lot of people think that Stewart-Haas Racing should not have made this move just because of how Daniel Suarez performed in Joe Gibbs' equipment, which I can't excuse that. I can't. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, though, and I guess I'll try to excuse it, is that he had, 2 or 3 different crew chiefs throughout his tenure there. And it's like every time he would go on a roll, he'd get a string of top 10 finishes. And even, like, I think it was Michigan, he had a really fast car, got the pole, and really was up there for most of the race. It's like something happens, and it's like there's a change. Maybe something happened behind the scenes and we just didn't hear about it, and he's back to being a mediocre top 15, top 20 driver. And I think at Stewart-Haas you'll have more stability, which will then allow him to get into a groove. And I think we'll see a much more consistent Daniel Suarez running in the top 10. I'm not saying I think he'll win a race, but I don't think he'll be out there dominating, winning all the races. And yeah, that's really all I got.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it. I think he's going to improve. I don't think he's going to be like a championship contender by any means. I mean, he could get a win. I don't think he's going to be like, well, you just see him dominate when that win. I think it'd be like late race restart win. But he never got his fair chance at Gibbs.
Right.
You just never like really saw him like in any like sponsorship things either. I noticed like you always see like when they have like fan thing interactions, you'd see like Jones, Denny, and Kyle.
Right.
I also think he was also rushed into that ride, so who knows if that's really who Joe Gibbs wanted in that car, but that was his only choice maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I think for him, I think that was a good move.
I don't know if it's a better move for Stewart-Haas. I don't think it's a terrible move by any means. I'm not saying that, but I think it's a better move for Suarez than it is for Haas.
I think with Stewart-Haas, Suarez had the sponsorship with Eris, and I don't think there's really anybody else except for Cole Custer to put in that spot. But they still remain kind of off on Cole Custer.
Yeah. I don't like to get off topic, but I would notice why something interesting with Cole Custer not being in the Cup Series is, if you notice, his only sponsor that I can think of in the Xfinity is Haas. So it's a lack of funded car. That could be why he doesn't have a steady sponsorship behind him.
Right.
To get him into the Cup Series.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like that is a reason, but again, he doesn't seem. I don't know. It seems like you hear about Cole Custer going off and like, oh yeah, he's going to be in the Cup Series, and the next thing you know, he just gets quiet and he kind of sits in the back. So I don't know. Excuse me. I don't really pay attention, to be honest, to the Xfinity that much. You know, I know Christopher Bell is really good. I know, hopefully Noah Gragson does good this year, but I mean, I don't really get into Xfinity that much, so I couldn't tell you how good he is on a week-to-week basis.
I mean, they gave Danica a chance.
Yeah, if they gave, yeah, you got a good point there. But anyways, moving on to Ryan Newman going out of the 31 car at Richard Childress to the 6 Ford at Roush Fenway Racing. And I think we'll see much of the same Ryan Newman that we are used to. And I don't think there's really anything else to really expect from Newman. He's just going to be a tough guy to pass and maybe ruin a couple of wins. Dover. And, yeah.
I think he's it's going to be about the same, right? I mean, it could be a little worse. It's either going to be slightly worse or slightly better, but it's going to be about the same, honestly. Because with a veteran in that 6 car actually benefited last year. Either Trevor Bain was just that bad. I think it was a little bit of both. And they got a new crew chief in that car, too, so we'll see how that improves. Definitely bring some new ideas to the table for Roush, probably.
Right, but one thing you said, Trevor Bayne's that bad. Well, yes, he wasn't getting as much results. I did notice that there was talk that Matt Kenseth was saying about the same things as Trevor Bayne. I think the problem with Trevor Bayne
Yeah.
is, there was problems with the car. He just didn't have the experience to,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, actually, because we'll be talking about him in a little bit. So I'll save that for later. But yeah, Ryan Newman, don't really expect much more than what he is now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just a 1-year deal, so he'll probably retire at the end of it. I would assume he's fairly.
I think I'm in 2 years. 2 or 3
But
probably.
here's kind of an underrated one that a lot of people talk about, but I think a lot of people kind of like joke, like, oh yeah, Matty Benedetto, he's going to family racing, he's going to be so much better. I think that's a real possibility. I think Matty Benedetto, especially for the family racing, going to the Toyota, I think at this point in his career, I think he is better than Casey Kane was last season. I think no, it's not a knock on Kane. Obviously, Kane in his prime is better than Matty Benedetto now, but I think Casey Kane last season is worse than Matty Benedetto now. I think Di Benedetto. I think I'll just call him Matt from now on. I think he just has a lot of. I think there's a lot of talent, and I could be wrong. I just have a really strong feeling on him. I think we'll see improvements. I think we can guarantee we'll see improvements on last season's family racing. And I hope the best. Matty Benedetto, he could be somewhat of a Martin Truex Jr. here, obviously. Okay, somewhat. Go out there, win a couple of races. I don't know about compete for championships, but you never know.
Yeah, I think he's gonna definitely improve. I mean, you can't look at that 95 team. The bad that's obviously he's going to improve, but that 95 team is definitely going to improve a lot. You'll see him in the top 10, I think, more. I think he's going to run probably like around 12th to 15th most this year. But I think by the year 2021, Levine Family Racing with that given lines could be where like 2016 Furniture Row was not like a championship contender, but a solid top 5, top 10 car every week. Definitely a big break for Di Benedetto. Probably the best opportunity he's going to get.
Well, one thing I know you said, do you think he's going to run 12th to 15th?
This season.
This season? See, I think you kind of set the bar a little too high for him, in my opinion.
I mean, they run like 17th to 25th every week without the alliance.
I'm not sure that he did. Let me check that real quick. Sorry to kind of slow it down, but I want to see. I'm looking up Casey Kane's. That's not what I wanted to look up. Oh, that's an ad. There's an ad for a public record search, and I put Casey Kane's name in it.
Probably know what you want.
Here you go. Casey Kane had an average finish of 26. No, that's the start. That's average finish of 23.
Okay, so I said 17th to 25th.
You said like something. You said like 15th to 20th.
I said 17th to 25th last year.
That's accurate. Okay. I thought you said like something to 20th. But anyways, back on topic. I just had to check that real quick. But yeah, I think Matty Benedetto, he should be a good fit there in Levine Family Racing. But next up, Kurt Busch going from the 41 car at Stewart Haas Racing to the 1 Chevy at Chip Ganassi Racing. I think this is a 1-year deal, and he'll probably retire or at least go part-time after this year. So glad to see him in at least decent equipment. I mean, Chip Ganassi Racing, it always seems like they're one step behind Hendrick and Joe Gibbs and all of that. And one thing about the season is we'll see if it is the equipment or is it just Jamie McMurray was that bad last season. So that should be interesting to see. I think the 42 car is just either they just put all their stuff in the 42 car and said screw the one, or Kyle Larson's just that good. There's a lot of questions around Chip Ganassi Racing, and some people actually consider them a low budget team. I don't know if you guys are one of them.
One of the top IndyCar teams.
Yeah, they're one of the top IndyCar teams, so they're generating revenue from that. So they definitely would not be. But yeah, go ahead, Chinnery.
I think you'll see a little bit of a downfall from Butch. I don't think you're going to see him like run the back, but I think he'll run a little bit worse than he was. I think it's definitely a 1-year deal. And then I still think, something tells me Ross Chastain still takes over that one car in 2020. They just got to find him a sponsor.
Wait, what'd you say? I heard what you said.
I think it
didn't register.
I said, I think in 2020, Chastain takes over.
Oh, right. Okay.
And they just find him a new sponsor.
I don't know. I just heard it and it just did not register in my mind. I was like, what did you say? And yeah, okay, yeah, I could see that. But I think Kurt Busch, obviously, I think we all can agree he won't be as good as he was last season, but he'll still be a pretty good driver. Really quick here, Corey LaJoie, he's headed out of a trash team to a slightly less trash team. He's going to replace Matty Medetto at Go Fast Racing, and yeah, that's really all there really needs to be said about that. Martin Truex Jr., the last drivers moving to new teams. Going from the 78 Furniture Row Racing Toyota to the 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. And this is huge. This is ginormous. As Furniture Row Racing, if this is Furniture Row Racing's engine, this is Joe Gibbs. It's not like, and he was running about the same as Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch was being a little bit more consistent, but it's just like Toyota. Joe Gibbs just takes this much out of the car to Furniture Row, at least as far as I would understand. And I think now he's got all the equipment. I think he has a chance to make another championship run, in my opinion. It's doable, or you never know. He is up there in age. What is he, like 38?
38. I think he's 39.
I was close. He is kind of getting up in age, so you never know.
Opinion on age. I think he might race longer than you'd see most people because he didn't get to his prime until his later age. That might inspire him to run longer.
Right.
So much success, so he could have.
One thing I've noticed with NASCAR, it's like, assuming Jimmy Johnson doesn't go back to Jimmy Johnson things this year, it seems like drivers, once they get to a certain age, it's just like any moment, like they're just not, they just kind of lose talent or whatever it is.
Kevin, I don't know, I'm getting off topic. Like, everyone talks about all these other drivers retiring. Kevin Harvick's like the old, 41, 42, and yet no one talks about him retiring. I don't know why that just confuses me, but
I think he's
Clint Boyer, he's like 38. Probably. I mean, I think another thing is with Jimmy Johnson, if he has another year like that, he'll definitely retire in 2020 because you just don't want to go out and remember being, no offense to Tony Stewart, but the last 4 or 5 years just not even be relevant.
Well, I mean, your point about Kevin Harvick retiring is kind of like, why would he retire if he's on top of the sport right now? Yeah. If he falls off this year, maybe. Yeah. If he gets a championship, maybe. But I think
I was just confused
why you don't.
Why people don't talk about it?
He just doesn't seem to really he doesn't have any reason. He has a family, if I'm not mistaken, but he seems like he doesn't seem to really. Not to say that he doesn't care about his family, but that doesn't seem to be a factor with him. I don't think he's really said anything suspect about that.
Yeah. But he can't have a card, which is tired.
I mean, he could. Yeah, he could be forced out of. Why would he be forced out though?
Yeah, there's no one behind him.
Yeah, because Carl Edwards is definitely forced out. That's the running theory. But
I don't believe that theory, but I don't know. I really don't know what to believe on that. But we're getting off topic.
Anyways, so on to drivers' announced plans with unannounced plans. With unannounced plans. Holy crap, we have got to get better at this part of the job. Speaking. It's the biggest part of a podcast is English.
These are announced. It's confusing how J-Ski had this.
Without announced plans for 2019, Trevor Bayne. Now, if you guys are watching from NASCAR Amino, I made an article about Trevor Bayne. And my feelings on Trevor Bayne is that he never will get a NASCAR Cup Series opportunity, I feel like. And I don't think he's going to I don't know. I don't think he'll run a Cup Series. And I'm on the fence whether he'll run an Xfinity or trucks. It's just kind of like, if you look at his stats, I look at the stats, like doing research for the article, and I'm like, holy crap, he was booty. Like, besides winning the Daytona 500, he was booty. He had a career total 11 top 10s and pretty good equipment. Like, Ricky Stenhouse outdrove the living crap out of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how bad he did in that good of equipment. Like, just because he won a Daytona 500 at 20, it's
yeah, that was with Wood Brothers. I think he ran better with Wood Brothers than he did with Roush.
No, he didn't get he got like I think 2 top 10s if I remember the article correctly. Yeah. I think I got 2 top 10s with Wood Brothers. Yeah, right.
And now did they have the alliance with Penske then?
And then the other 2 years he didn't even get a single top 10, and in one of the years he had an average finish of 32. So yeah, definitely did not do too well. So I think I don't know. I think Trevor Bayne maybe gets a redemption shot on an Xfinity or truck team, but besides that,
here's one argument I'd make. I'm not saying I would sign him, but he's got steady sponsorship from Advocare. As you notice, that's the only reason he stayed in the Seeks car at all. So I don't think you're seeing him with a top team, but I think you could see him like at a low budget cup team. Like go fast race, I'm not saying necessarily them, or like a top Xfinity. Junior Motorsports has 6 unannounced races, or 5 now, so that could be a possibility.
Yeah, it definitely.
That would do it.
Definitely could be. I'm checking something. I think somebody's watching, Caleb.
Oh.
Hello there. Welcome to the podcast. Be sure to grab some popcorn and sit down as we talk about AJ Allmendinger. As he is next on the list. Quick transition there. AJ Allmendinger, he'll be doing some TV work for NBC. No announced plans. He said he ran the Rolex 24 or whatever.
Yeah, I think the only thing you might see him in like a Watkins Glen or Sonoma or like Mid-Ohio or something, but you're not going to see him at anything full-time at anything ever again.
Right.
You might see him like some like random boat course series or something like.
Right. That was his bread and butter. He got a win on, and that's more than most.
Sad thing is, as much he cleaned himself up. I'm not saying that he's a bad person, but drugs ruined his career in a way because he had that shot with Penske, and then he got kicked out for being on drugs. But think about this: Joey Logano never would have got that opportunity. He could be out of the sport now if it wasn't for AJ Allmendinger.
I wouldn't go as far to say he would be out of the sport.
Well, he was doing pretty bad.
Interested in him, regardless, if I'm not mistaken. So he could have drove the 12 car. So Ryan Blaney could still be at.
Of course, they could have just added a 4th team. Though. Who knows?
I don't know. Nobody knows. But anyways, on to the next one. Jeffrey Earnhardt will be running some part-time Xfinity, or I guess a limited Xfinity schedule for Joe Gibbs. So I guess it must be nice to have a great last name there in Earnhardt. But I guess Joe said he likes Earnhardt people driving, so keep the name going.
Well, I just said, I don't know. I have no feelings towards him, but I said keep the name, be cool.
I think it kind of speaks volumes that Dale didn't even try and get him to go for Junior Motorsports. So that's what
I think. why Dale Jr. never wanted to sign him because he didn't want to look like his uncle just gave him a shot.
Fair enough. Reed Swordson, who cares? Drivers that do not plan to race full time in 2019. Wait, actually, before we get into this, what did he drive the 00? Was that him? No, that was David Rudiman. What car did he drive?
Who are you talking about?
Reed
Sorensen.
Right.
I forget what he drove. Oh, it says right career to return to Premium Motorsports.
No. I'm talking about in his prime. What did he drive?
I think he drove for BK Racing.
That is best. I feel like he had a better. Now I have to look this up. Reed Sorensen. I'm sure if I look up images, we'll see his best. He drove for Chip Ganassi, apparently.
What?
I think
was that an Xfinity? That was an Xfinity, probably.
Bet he drove the 41 car.
Had to be long.
That's definitely not an Xfinity car.
I'll go to.
Oh shit, we're down to 0 watchers now. Rip.
Oh yeah, he drove his first career race for Chip Ganassi in 2005. Came in 41st and did not qualify. He drove 2 full-time seasons for Chip Ganassi. Finished 24th in points, 22nd in points.
Went
to Richard Petty.
Ganassi was good, obviously.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't the 55. No. There's a car that I remember him for. Now, where the hell is it?
Green. Has he won in anything? I'm looking at that now.
No. Oh, he drove the 43, I think.
Yeah, he drove for Richard Petty 1 year, but that was long before I started watching nothing. He has 4 Xfinity Series career wins.
Oh, he drove the 83. 83.
Yeah, it was BK Racing.
That was Red Bull Racing.
Oh yeah, Red Bull Racing bought out. Big K bought out Red Bull.
Yes. If you would have said Red Bull, we would have avoided this entire off-topic thing, and I would have been like, yeah, that's right. Anyway, so Jamie McMurray, he is driving the 40 car in the Daytona 500, and he will be working
in the Clash
for Fox, correct? In the Clash, yes.
And he also drive the Clash.
And I like the car. The car looks pretty nice. All of his sponsors from past years, I believe Cessna was on there. They're all on that 40 car, and I forget who's sponsoring the 40 car for. But regardless, nice to see Jamie McMurray. Hopefully, he goes out with a bang, and we'll see how he does on TV. He's gonna be on what, Race Hub?
Yeah, Race Hub. And I think he might be doing the pre-race for like Xfinity. I might be wrong, but
right. And then Matt Kenseth, he better be done. I swear, he better be done. He's like, what, 46, 47? Like, he just needs to spend time with his family and maybe race a couple.
I think he's going to move into more of a management role. He is 46.
Yeah, management role. Yeah, that's something like that. Something that I think, if he comes back, great. He was my favorite driver for a little bit, so I guess I kind of sounded a little harsh on him. But it's like, Matt, you're 47, just live your life. Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, that kind of sounded mean. I'm sorry, Matt. Casey Kane, not driving anything.
Matt, you're welcome to come onto the podcast now.
He's basically just doing whatchamacallits, dirt races.
Dirt. Because his body can't. Well, he's planning to retire anyway, but his body can't handle a full stock car race for 3 hours.
All right, yeah, I think that's really about it for the off season. So, I mean, it was somewhat of an uneventful off season,
but it was at the same time.
Yeah, it was at the same time. Was it more eventful than last season?
Forget. Let me go back.
Well, you got Blaney going to the 12. You got Byron coming up to the 24. You got Bowman to the 88. You got
they might say.
Eric Jones, no, he's already in there.
Eric Jones changed to the 20. Eric Jones switched
changed to the 20, right? Matt Kenseth,
maybe
Matt Kenseth.
Fast. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, Bob Bigger actually.
Eric
Yeah.
Almirola went to the 10.
Paul Menard went to the 1.
Paul Mar went to the 21, which he low-key did better in the 21. Like,
Yeah.
he did pretty good this season. Shout out to that. Yeah, that's really. I think that's really about.
Well, one thing we didn't mention. I don't know if it's really big. Jimmy Johnson got a new sponsor.
Ally, yeah, you got a new sponsor. I was going to mention that in our. Well, we still will in our predictions video in 2 weeks, or podcast. But
we better do it next week because the season starts in 2 weeks. Or we do it the Saturday before the 500.
Yeah, we'd have to do it Saturday afternoon though.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, anyways, now the podcast it's kind of winding down here. We want to talk about ESPN, then maybe something small. So ESPN has been, well, they have pulled out all of their NASCAR stuff except for there's this guy, I don't know his name, but he does college football. Marty Smith. He does football, college football, and NASCAR. But they don't have any solely NASCAR people after firing JSC last week. So why is ESPN doing this? They've gotten rid of IndyCar. They have F1, but they got F1 for free. Basically, they didn't get it for any. They got it for maybe a couple potato chip bags, and yeah, they didn't. A small fry. They didn't have to give really anything for Formula One, and they only do American races where they're not getting any ratings from it because it's America. We don't care about F1. F1, get out of here with that F1.
We don't care about NASCAR anymore either. But
yeah, and they don't care about NASCAR in Europe, and it's a equal feeling. Well,
no one cares about Indy here. I was thinking, I've never met an actual IndyCar fan. That's just an IndyCar fan.
I care about IndyCar. I'm an IndyCar fan.
I mean, just like people just like follow Indy. Oh, like how you have people just follow NASCAR.
Like just I've never seen follow Indy. Yeah, I'm not that. But hey, shout out to Wickens. I forgot my favorite driver's name. I know his last name's Wickens. I don't know what his first name is.
I couldn't tell you one IndyCar driver.
Yeah, you could.
Who? Wickens. Because you just said him.
But Caleb, you know what's the famous guy? Andretti. You know Andretti.
Oh yeah, Mario Andretti's grandson. Yeah. You're talking all time, yeah. Wickens. I think he's terrible though, ain't he? I don't think he's ever won.
Yeah, he has. Sure he has. I couldn't tell.
Marco Andretti.
Robert Wickens. Robert Wickens. Yeah, that's my favorite driver because like the first race that I watched him, like I just started watching IndyCar like last week, and I know this is NASCAR, but we're going to talk
last
about
week, even though it's February.
Last year, and the first race I watched, he's on fire. Like, ooh, fire! He's my favorite driver. Plus, he's like 20, and like all the rest of the IndyCar drivers are like 30 something. So I'm like, let's go with the young guys because that's what I am in NASCAR. I've transitioned from Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, and all those guys to Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace.
It's kind of weird with me. I like the youngest, but some of the older guys are still my favorites. It's kind of weird. But
I think MTJ and Jamie McMurray were really my only old guys that I like.
My old guys I like Jimmy Johnson, Clint Bowyer, Truex.
I like Johnson, but yeah. Anyways, we were talking about ESPN, and now we're talking about our favorite drivers. What the heck?
I like the
we gotta fix this part of the podcast. Like, people didn't come here to listen to our favorite drivers. They didn't come here to listen to our IndyCar. They came here to listen to NASCAR stuff. So
actually, none came here at all.
Well, hey, there was one viewer for a little bit, so I don't want to hear it, Caleb. You never know. Somebody could go back and watch it. You know, shout out to you. If you are watching it, shout out to you. You can come on the podcast. There you go.
I mean, time, but the NASCAR Weekly podcast got like 5 viewers the first time.
Right. So we got 0. we got 1. We're making progress. All right. So, anyways.
Wait a minute. When you realize that 1 viewer is you?
No, because I have it on there right now, and it's not counting me as a viewer. So
I don't have it on.
Yeah, I have it on right now. So, anyways,
we have 1 viewer.
So we're going to talk about the ESPN situation, and ESPN is really doing is they're trying to go mainstream. They're trying to focus on what the future of sports is, and that's okay, because I'll explain why here in a second. And this probably sounds like Eric's, and I agree with Eric, so that's why I'm saying what Eric's saying. But anyway,
if you know what he's referring to.
what?
If you don't know, I was saying who you're referring to in case it didn't know.
Well, yeah,
pretty sure
I guess
it would, but...
Double E Dud. Hey, if you don't know who Double E Dud is and you're watching this, again, shout out to you. You can come join the podcast. Anyways,
hey Eric, you can come join the podcast too. That's you.
Eric, quick plug, join the podcast. Anyways, like I was saying, with ESPN dropping it, they're looking to focus on, sports that a lot of the young kids are looking at today, like NBA, NFL, I guess MLB. What they've kind of been. Well, I guess Caleb says they've never actually shown MLB, but they don't.
They have 3 games a week.
Somewhat MLB. They somewhat and just sports like that they college basketball. Just sports like that. That a lot of kids are watching these days, or maybe they get viewers from over in Europe or something like that. You get what I mean? And that's fine, because that has opened up opportunities for people like Fox and NBC Sports. NBC was it NBC? No, it was Fox Sports has passed ESPN2 in total viewership. And that is crazy because it's been over 20 years since ESPN2 wasn't the number 2 watched sports television. That was kind of a weird explanation, but that's crazy. And you know what Fox Sports shows? That they show baseball, they show football, they show college basketball, and they show NBA, and they show NASCAR.
They don't have NBA.
Yeah, they do.
The local, but not national does.
They have regional. I don't know. Would that count? No. Okay,
regional.
Yeah, that's
Fox Sports 1 is what being.
It doesn't count. That's just regional. That's my bad. Yeah, they have baseball, they have college basketball, and they have NASCAR. Those are their 3 main
boxing
things,
and stuff like WWE. They're like boxing.
So they do have a little bit of help from those other sports, but NASCAR is a part of that. And NBC, it's closing in too. I'm not sure, it hasn't passed ESPN2 to my knowledge.
I thought it did pass. I think it's close to ESPN2, but not past it.
If it's not past ESPN2, it is right on its tail, and probably in the next couple of years, especially now that they have a full IndyCar season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They will very likely surpass ESPN2.
If you ever watch like an NBA game or anything on ESPN, they get like off topic, where you start showing stuff that doesn't even have to do with the game, and you miss part of your game and stuff. It's ridiculous. Honestly, that's part of the reason why the ratings have gone down.
But like I was saying, shoot, no, I forgot. Let me think. ESPN2, NBC is now is probably going to pass them now. They didn't. I don't think they had the full schedule last year. You wouldn't know, but I think they do have it this year. They likely will pass the.
They showed the majority of the IndyCar. I know that.
Yeah, they did.
Except the Indy 5. I think ESPN might only have the Indy 500. I might check that.
I think they have rights too, if I'm not mistaken. But here's the thing. God damn.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. I gotta stop. It's hard to become like a normal.
Can we screen share that game right now live?
No. So basically, God dang it! I gotta stop. I gotta focus. Okay. All right.
Hey.
I can't. Okay.
God bless you.
NBCSN is gaining on ESPN2. Stop it, Caleb. It makes me laugh. NBCSN is gaining on ESPN2, and that will mean both Fox Sports and I completely. You know what I forgot? NFL.
What?
Anyways,
they both have NFL. Both of them have NFL. 1 game a week.
Right, but Fox also. Well, Fox has 2.
You know what also
But
hurts ESPN?
what's that?
That they don't have the Super Bowl in their rotation, like the other NFL networks do. I mean, it has nothing, like Fox does.
Right, because they rotated from each channel. Correct?
And they also recently had the Super Bowl. Yeah, ESPN used to be part of that. Like they showed on the 9 because anything or ABC. This is on 9 for everybody, but ABC Sports is done by ESPN, and so that used to be part of the Super Bowl rotation. You also got to take into consideration not to put down the rotation, but Fox recently had the Super Bowl this past season, and I know they did. NBC did, so never mind that statement.
All right, now I got to remember what I was talking about. NBCSN is gaining on ESPN too. I think the third time now. So that means that NAS and NBC is a lot more involved in sports. They also have IndyCar. They also have NASCAR, like I said. They also have motocross, I believe, and a couple other racing stuff. And they are pretty heavy in racing. So that means all of the people watching NBCSN, they're getting up there. I mean, it's competing with ESPN too, which doesn't show football, but it shows college basketball. It shows MLB. Well, it does show some NBA matchups. It's mostly like if it's a really late game or a really early game, it'll show some NBA matchups and G League matchups, but not a lot of NBA matchups. So it really shows kind of the back burner stuff for them. And so obviously it's not relative to taking down ESPN, but it is showing that we as a NASCAR or a motorsports group are making a push to pass ESPN. So it is possible, and there's obviously we could spend a completely 2-hour podcast talking about what's wrong with ESPN, but that's not what this is about. We're just talking about how ESPN is kind of cutting off motorsports. So is this bad for motorsports? Not at all. It's almost good for motorsports because now Jay Ski is going to get a job at Fox Sports and NBCSN, and that'll mean all sources will be there. Obviously, I don't know why they wouldn't. Well, they wouldn't be called Jay Ski anymore, obviously.
Yeah, here's the weird thing. Yeah. But ESPN won't give them the rights to Jay Ski, which is dumb. They don't want it, so what? My only bad part is I don't understand why ESPN couldn't keep Jay Ski because it's just on the website. It's not like they have to talk about it on air. That's the one thing I didn't understand. But other than that,
all right. But I think J-Ski has really been a reliable source for quite a while now. I would know.
It's best known to the website.
I would understand why NBC or Fox wouldn't want.
Yeah, I don't think you see it for like another month because I think he'll probably look into the best offer. Probably have bidding wars or something for it, so it might be a while before you see it. He's still on Twitter though. So,
yeah, he's not
still tweeting news and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, that's really about it for that. One thing, if J-Ski, I'm just calling him J-Ski because
that's what known as.
That's really all I've ever called him. So, J-Ski, I think J-Ski, awesome. Hey, what's up, sports fanboy? Welcome to the stream. I think J-Ski, you like that? I think J-Ski, if he goes to NBCSN, NBC might. They've rivaled them last year, and they might actually surpass them. I mean, just in terms of how good their team is. If they have J-Ski and Dale Earnhardt Jr., and, who knows who else could join the team. Like, obviously, Dale Jr. isn't really into, posting about rumors, but J-Ski is a good news source. And so now they have because do they even have anybody there as a news source?
I mean, I think they got help. They got help from like Bob Pockus and stuff, since he worked for ESPN.
Pockus went to Fox.
Got help from him. You mean J-Ski on their own? He had some guys who worked for him that were insiders, but I don't know the names off the top of my head. I thought you were talking about like help overall. I was going to say if they go to Fox,
Yeah, but who's the person who owns J-Ski?
Yeah, he had a couple insiders, but I can't remember their name.
But wasn't there Didn't they release an insider?
Yeah, they released the whole team, JC. There was like another guy who helped.
Yeah, I'm saying their team. Yeah, I'm referring to their team. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
Bob
that's what I
Hawkins
mean.
was part of the team, but he went straight to Fox. I don't think that
Well,
was
I
like
mean,
his
they
main
got rid of their team, kind of one by one, and then they just got the rest. So what I'm saying is the team that just got fired, I think they will go to NBCSN because it's kind of like Fox. We got stacked with Bob Pockers and what's his name, Ricky Cravens. They got kind of stacked there, so they might not want all of them. Maybe a couple will go to Fox, and the rest will go to. I know they'll at least get one. Like they kind of. So I think that'll work out in NBC's favor. And yeah, I don't know. There's not really much else to talk about that. You got anything, Caleb?
Anything we can talk about, or just about that?
Yeah, we have let's see, how long has this been going?
About an hour, I think, 45 minutes.
About 45 minutes, yeah. So we have a little bit.
Some quick, the Hall of Fame yesterday.
What yesterday?
The Hall of Fame induction was yesterday.
Right. Yeah, that was something I needed to have written down because I did want to talk about that. So let me get the list.
It was Jack Roush, Jeff Gordon, Davey Allison, and Alan Kohicki. Those four. All four very good. 2 good team owners and 3 good drivers.
Yeah. I don't think there's really any question in that.
Next year, Carl Edwards is eligible.
Yeah, he better get. If he doesn't get in there, I'm gonna be so pissed. Like,
he'll definitely. Is he first? Based on it depends, like if he's the first ballot or not. I looked at the whole class, so it depends the class against him. But he'll probably go in first ballot. I mean, all you have to do is win a race to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Let's be honest. But basically, if they're putting owners in, they're getting desperate, running out people.
Oh, I mean, I would understand Roush Fenway. Who's the other owner you said?
Roger Penn. They just now they put like all the big car owners in, so that tells me that they're getting.
Oh yeah, they are running out of drivers. Do they put in QPs?
They put in anybody, even broadcasters, drivers, crew chiefs.
I don't know about broadcasters, but I mean,
they put Ken Squire.
It's fair because it owners and crew chiefs, they both contribute to wins. It's not all of the driver. I don't know about. Yeah. I don't know about broadcasters necessarily.
They put Ken Squire in.
I'd say owners and crew chiefs. I mean, coaches are in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and I believe owners. There are maybe what's his name? Whoever was the owner of the Celtics in the Larry Bird era, I believe he is in the Hall of Fame. I won't fact check that, but it's normal. It's not. It's not like they're really running out of.
I'm not saying anything bad about, but I'm just pointing that out. That obviously they'd be putting drivers in first. I mean, it just sounds.
Yeah, there's no first ballot.
But it's fair enough.
Owners, yeah.
Rick Kendrick, I think, was. He might not have been. But I think Rick Kendrick was the first ballot owner.
Oh, I mean, Rick Kendrick.
Rick Kendrick. Joe Gibbs didn't get in. He was on the ballot, which his team didn't open until the late 90s, too.
Yeah, his team didn't open until later, though, yeah, because he was an NFL coach. I think,
yeah.
Anything, Yeah.
But
yeah, Hall of Fame induction, that's always fun. Quick talk about football. Patrick Mahomes, he won the MVP and offensive player. I thought he was a rookie, so I figured he won all 3 of them. But
no, it wasn't a rookie because he got drafted last year, and I think he played a couple games or took a couple snaps. But they drafted him last year because they knew their other quarterback was going to be free agent. They wanted to get a good quarterback with a good draft pick.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to fix something real quick, and then we'll get of one last little talk here. And I clicked the wrong thing. God damn it. Definitely have a long conversation next week. I can definitely guarantee that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that after we're done.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after, but we'll definitely have a long one. I'm
I'm
having issues with seeing the chat. I'm not sure if it's live. I think it's a little bit behind the chat, so I just want to make sure I can answer you guys'. All right, there we go. All right, so now I'm back. I just want to make sure because I wasn't sure if you guys were asking questions or something like that. Actually, no one's watching right now. I don't know.
You die.
But excuse me. So, anyways, let's see what is there to talk about? You want to talk about a little NASCAR history or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. I think I'll see. You got anything there, Chinry?
Not really. I think it's about time to.
All right, I'd say it's that time. Let me check.
Talk about paint schemes, but I want to
what time would work for next week.
Let's talk about that off air.
No,
I'm not
so
free
then
at all on Saturday.
Well, so then we can tell them.
Yeah, Saturday won't work at all.
Will Sunday work?
Yeah, but NASCAR's on. That to be after the Clash.
Well, the Clash takes like an hour.
Yeah, but it doesn't start until 3, so we can do it at 9. Yeah.
Do it at
we could
12.
Also review about the qualifying's on.
You're gonna watch qualifying.
That hurt our viewers though.
6 o'clock. How's that work?
We did. What made it Friday?
I probably have a game.
Yeah, I gotta play it. What about after the game? We do like 9 Friday.
That'd be kind of late. I don't want to do it too late to where there's like nobody on. I can't find my schedule, for Christ's sake.
I know you have a game Friday. I have to play.
I know I have a game Friday. I don't know. And of course you're not.
Well, Saturday might look later in the day, like late, like 9, 8:30, 9ish might work Saturday. Yeah, 8:30 will work Saturday because I'll be home like at 6, so we can do 8:30 Saturday for work.
8:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, what time?
That will not. Oh, I couldn't tell you actually. To be safe, we do just Sunday at 6 because it's not like we're talking about anything race related.
Yeah, subject to change in case something comes up, but.
So we are going with Sunday at 6.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for staying. I'm sorry we're figuring this out. I apologize for maybe a little bit of
Hopefully, go back and laugh at this in like 2 years.
They're like 20 minutes late. First of all. Second of all, we kind of got off topic a bunch, so we'll figure it out. Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe button if you haven't already. And
God bless you if you're watching still.
We'll have some videos for you guys to watch. We should have some, but that's all we got. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Shenry, what you got to say? I said, Chenry, what you got to say? Chenry, what you got to say?
Yes. God bless you if you're still watching. God bless you if you go back to watch this. God bless if you last this long if you went back to watch this.
You're really the greatest of all time if you're still watching it at this point. I would just end it right here because holy crap, we need to improve on our podcast.
I had $1 million. If you have $1 million, I give you half. I have $1 million, I give you half right now.
Hey, since we won't be able to do the podcast before, we do have to do our picks though for the Clash. How many races are there? 2.
Just one. That's the duels you're thinking of. I'm gonna wait to pick the duels because that's after qualifying. We won't know. But the Clash, you go first.
I'm gonna hit it with a. Chase Elliott. I can't go against him.
I'm going to go Brad Keselowski.
All right, so that's our picks. Make sure to leave a like if you still are here, and if not, I honestly don't blame you. And see you in the next
What about a
one.
dark?
Peace out.